It's not sure if the meeting started.
So I have to go through that again, don't I?
That's good.
People can come in and leave as they want to.
What's that? Okay. I'd like to call to order this budget committee meeting Wednesday, May 19th, 2021 at 7:04 p.m. Roll call, Mr. Ucalito, Ms. Fabiano, and Mr. Corey are here, and Mr. Lafreniere.
Yep, I'm here. I'm just eating dinner, so I'm going to keep my camera off.
Okay, how are you? Hopefully something good.
Fajitas.
All right,
Oh.
that's good. That's good.
It's good.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And approval of the minutes? Whenever you're ready.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I did look those over earlier, so they look good. Anybody from the public on the line?
Nope.
No, okay,
And Sue Ferguson will be on in a second.
okay, all right. Discussion next steps, monthly financials.
Okay.
Mr. Aaron.
Right, if you look at page 1 and 2, as of the end of March, we have on this page, on number 2, $846,248 surplus. Remember, as we did last year, in May, I start May 2 months to go in. So if you look at page 3 and page 4, that covers all of the other accounts that are not listed. Remember, there's 96% of the accounts are listed on page 1 and 2. On page 3 and 4 are all the other accounts that are listed.
Right.
And I do that every, as you can see, twice a month or 3 times a month.
Right.
So if you look at all of that, those accounts show a surplus of $170,696 on page 3, and then you see the monthly financials is $846,248, gives us a total of $1,016,944. Again, as I reiterated about the cafeteria, because of COVID and so forth, we're in deficit of $270,494. Compared to other districts, we're doing better than a lot of districts in that.
So we're at a surplus of $746,450.
Correct.
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 Okay. Current surplus.
I'll update this probably the end of this week again, just for my own edification, and then next week it'll be June 1st, the week after.
Right.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I know.
Any questions on that part of it? Just the big picture.
So at 100% with the deficit in the cafeteria, May will be April was a short month. So
Right.
remember last month, March, we had 29,000 lunches. In March, in April, we had less than that. We had about 24,000 because of the week. In May, it's a full month, so we're plowing away with that.
Good.
Right. Here.
The legal, is that COVID related or?
No, that's just an estimate, because our last month's bills were about $26,000.
But are we over this year? Or-
If we
and if- I
project
question,
26,000 for the rest of the
budget
month, for the rest of the year, because that was the March, we will be over. But that's why I put a conservative higher number.
Did we budget next year with a higher number or no?
I
Or was
think
this
we,
year the exception?
well, this year was the exception also because we used Shipman Goodwin to do our contracts with ONG and so forth.
Negotiations.
Yeah. We took over that because we wanted to have control over those contracts.
And that includes legal fees for all the other stuff in the district.
Correct, special ed.
Special ed and all
Right.
that stuff.
We may be less, I just,
Now I can't hear.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Can you just remind me again about the cafeteria? I forgot, because I thought now that we're part of that program.
Correct, but a lot of the kids did not take the meals that we offered them at home. Remember, we had pickups.
Yeah.
So we had like 1,000 kids, roughly, I'm
Yeah.
saying, but only maybe 300 picked up
Yeah.
lunches, so we only, and breakfast. So we were out 700 lunches a week.
We only get reimbursed for 300.
Correct.
You only get
Right.
served for food that actually gets
Yes.
taken by
But we
kids.
made or provided, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to have the help there to give it out at,
But we're seeing it now that the kids are back in school, we're back
Correct.
to where we need to be.
Correct.
You can
Correct.
estimate
We
it.
had 29,000 in
April?
April.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Again, the cafeteria work is unbelievable, coming in and doing the stuff at Vogel Wetmore and the high school and so forth. Great people.
Making that work.
Any other questions on that?
And they gave me a cookie, the other one.
Get the cookies Thursday night.
Yeah, double,
Really?
double batch. I got creamed the other night with you guys.
I didn't say a word. I know. a lot
The
of people-
important things.
As long as we have fun, you gotta laugh or
Ally
else.
was the first to know.
What?
Ally was the first to know.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta have fun or else you would,
That's right.
Any other questions on those two pages? No, we're good? Okay. All right.
Special ed is next. We gained some, our projections are lower than before, than last month by $33,000. So that's good. That's on page 5.
Yep.
On page 6, we had one more special ed student, but also, just to let you know, there were 13 kids. 8 of those left before the school ends. So they may have left in October, December,
Right.
or January. 5 started after the school started and are gonna be here till the end of the year. So there's, we have to count all of them because we're paying for them. So that's why. But we're still below last year.
That's important.
And if you look at it, we're below right now in the amount of what we paid last year.
Yes.
10,000,009 versus 10,000,005.
Right.
Did you? Yeah. Oh, you got seven. Okay, thank you. I think, any comments, questions? You're all set? Transportation?
Transportation, the only difference is $288, so we're good. The only addition, again, we're still figuring on athletics transportation, okay? We're running more of our own, those 2 buses there than All-Star because of trying to get drivers for them and so forth, so we're running more. So this figure may go down,
Right.
and in the budget, the personnel for drivers may go up. Okay, because we have,
So it's gonna be a-
correct, could be a wash.
could be a wash. Could it be conceivably cheaper by doing it ourselves?
Some of them, but we don't have, the 2 vans are
Yeah.
25
Right,
kids
right.
each. We also use our van that runs at East School, for that program, they're over 18 years old. If we need that van, Mike can go up there, Mike McKenna can go up there and take it that's maybe 5 or 6 kids for golf or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Just real quick, the vans, bring up vehicles. What kind of shape are they in? The van.
Yeah. No, they're good, they're
Are they
good.
good?
Yeah.
How old?
We don't allow cookies to be eaten.
The one at East School
I think
is,
they're mild.
the one at East School, I think, is 2.5 years old, and the other one's maybe 4.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have under 50,000 miles on them. They're
Yeah.
regularly maintained, they're regularly serviced and inspected every year annually, so they're good.
All right. Any other questions? Mr. Lafreniere?
Okay, the next page on page 8, I always give you this data. It's easy for me to say line 6. You see it on the left? Okay, it's easy. That line is going to show $175,000 surplus so far this year, till next year, which I projected. Line 2 will show a surplus, which is in your page 1 and 2 of your front budget of 104,000 roughly. Number 3 is will show a deficit. It's already in deficit. Will show a deficit for the end of the year. Number 4 is going to show, which is line 12. Sorry, which is line 12. Will show a surplus of about 11,000. Line 5 will show a surplus of 8,600. Line 6, which is line 16, will be zeroed out, no surplus. And number 18, line 18, will show a surplus of 18,937. So even though we have one deficit, the others are surplus. So
Is that with considering some estimate for May and June?
yes,
Like
that's-
you're
yes,
projecting out for the
projecting,
balance of the year?
yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, so this is what we know in your projection.
Projection, right.
And that we would see here,
Excuse me,
like what you just read off, like
It's
the
over there.
projections are in here.
second page.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Lafreniere.
You said you were on page 8 of the packet?
Yeah,
The long sheet.
the long sheet.
Okay.
What's that? Go ahead, Mr. Corr.
No, so the Kelly Delta 2020, 2021, right? That where we are, number 8. That's what I have.
I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure, 'cause so
Page
none of the numbers you just read appeared.
Oh, he was calling this as line.
No, I know,
Yeah.
I know what he was
He
doing.
was adding 2 months of projection to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I was following along.
Yeah,
the right
and if
way.
you look at the second page, page 2,
Right, is where it's reflected.
it's
correctly.
reflected.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Page 9.
Page 9 is electricity. Right now, we're going to be showing a surplus of $64,155. We're projecting $65,000 a month for the last 3 months. That may be too high, but that's just a conservative estimate. Took the 9 months, and it came out to $65,000 each. So we're going to spend about $785,845, which is on page 1, line 53. Just so you know. Again, most of, if this all comes to fruition, remember we made the changes at the middle school.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're just collecting those changes at Vogel Wetmore.
Right.
Now, I showed you a picture of the new lights at Vogel Wetmore. You got to look at the lights around the building that are attached to the building. If you saw that, it's really nice. It gives that whole building. a different- yeah. That was a
Even
grant
the
we got.
inside, so much brighter.
Yes, and they're finishing up the media center, guidance area, and the administration area.
In the middle school, did we see any changes in our bill? Something,
A little bit, yes, right now. We're waiting for the whole, yeah.
any questions?
The next one is natural gas. We're showing a deficit of 44,466. If it continues, that's what we averaged for the last 9 months, 32,000. So we're still watching that. That's on page 1, item 55, at the bottom.
Okay.
Can I just ask, is this the packet that was emailed to us just recently? Because I'm not seeing natural gas and a lot of these numbers that he's mentioning are not lining up with what I'm looking at.
I think so.
These papers were in the packet. These papers were in the packet. We were just missing one in the packet earlier. So the previous.
The page numbers that Ed's reading off are not the page number that they are in the packet. They're the page numbers he wrote on them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote on it like this was 11A.
Right, but that may not be page 11 in the packet. I just want to
Right,
make sure
oh,
Jason's done.
It's handwritten.
Yeah.
Jason.
Right, I see that, and I see electricity, and then it goes right into the expense report, and I'm not seeing natural gas, and the line numbers that he's referring to aren't matching up with what I'm looking at, but that's all right, I'll get, Marissa, I'm sure as I'm saying this, is gonna email it to me, she usually does.
Page 12.
Do you have the budget analysis though, Jason, that first page?
I have yes, I have the budget analysis, yes.
So that's the same thing. with-
Oh, that's what you're looking at, I see,
Yes,
okay,
There you go.
This is the,
thank you.
You're welcome.
this is the detail of it. Okay, does that make sense?
They match up, thank God.
Any questions on natural gas? Everybody good? All right. So we have the actual report printed out. Anybody have any questions on the report, which we saw the detail, we just saw the detail of it, so shouldn't be any questions. All right, and, all right, so that's that. And then we have, let's see.
COVID is the next page, page 17.
Yeah, but actually in the agenda, the next thing is special ed transportation. So we got
So that's page 18.
Yep, page 18 in the packet, special ed transportation. Bids, sorry.
So
That's 60.
these are, we went out to bid. And I showed you the last month, here's all the bid results. And these are the bid results. Ed Advance was low bidder on almost all of them. The blank one, Oak Hill Plainville, we had to rebid that because it's changed on, and I don't want to go into detail, but it's changed on who's on the van and so forth. So that's rebid that one. Ed Advance won most of them there, and all of the others who have won, either most of the increases for the second and third year are 1.5% or 0.
Really?
Yes. If all goes true, we will have compared to last year, and we don't add anybody else, which is a doubtful thing, we will have a surplus in special ed transportation.
Okay. Sounds good. Any questions on the bids?
I just have
Go ahead.
one.
Yeah.
Is this the price per run or per day?
Per day,
Okay.
I'm sorry, per
Okay.
day, I'm sorry,
Thank
Yeah.
you. I just couldn't remember that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the day price.
Per day.
And how low were Ed Advance relative to the rest of them? What was the next highest up? Well, if you remember. It's not a big deal.
It probably,
just curious.
it probably varied on the runs.
Yeah,
No, but it's 10%, 20%.
Okay.
That's okay.
I can, at the next meeting,
No,
I
I'm
can
just
have,
curious.
yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Competitive it was.
Like here, one was here. I'll just give you on Ben Bronze, they were at 138, next low bidder was at 165.
Yeah, it's a big number.
Per day.
For
Per day,
yeah.
I'm
Per
sorry,
day.
per day, yes.
Yeah, that's a
It's
huge.
30%.
That's a huge. Okay, any other questions on bids for special ed transportation? No? Okay. All right,
And just let you know, I called Ed Advance after to let them know, and they said they can handle everything, so.
yeah, because they got a lot of runs there.
Yes, yeah.
6C, American Rescue Act grant update, any updates?
Yeah, just a quick brief. So once again, there's some confusion on the amount. So I think that they're still trying to figure out whether it's 2020 or the 2019 to 2020 number. I know you can't make it up. Here we are again. So this is the discrepancy. Originally, you heard me say 6.1. And now they're talking about 5.9. I know Ed's already contacted the state. I've already contacted the state. So this has happened to many districts. We're just awaiting which amount is the correct amount.
Yeah.
But it's $172, $1,000 or thereabouts, 175. So it matters.
Yeah, it
So,
does.
so we'd like to get the answer there. So we're all kind of waiting. And just to let you know, this is a little more involved than the ESSER grant was. So it has a lot of requirements. So within it, 20% has to be dedicated, not that we wouldn't anyway, but 20% has to be dedicated to direct learning loss programs, such as after school, extended day, summer school, to really accelerate the learning and to really help students get to where they need to be, and social emotional learning. So just to give you a quick little summary, this is a presentation that the State Department did, and it breaks it down into the 5 buckets. These buckets should be relatively familiar to you because most of them, the top 4 are all the same. They did add building safe and healthy schools. So that does allow for some of the building projects that we had talked about, but the primary focus is on learning acceleration, academic renewal, and student enrichment. The family and community connections, they feel is really important to make sure that we are bringing families in. We are doing parent education as well. A lot of times for our students who have been totally disconnected, the parents were disenfranchised as well, didn't feel comfortable in schools, may have just felt reticent to come in, or just had a bad experience. So not with our schools, but in their own lifetime. So we really want to help parents understand and connect the social, emotional, and mental health of students and the school staff, really making sure that that's occurring. And then the technology piece and bridging the digital divide, which Allie's had a vision and a plan for as we move forward, which she's presented to the board a number of times. And then that whole building safe and healthy schools. So I just wanted to give you the whole packet so that you can kind of see, and you can refer back to it as we're creating this budget. There's a real emphasis on disproportionate impact on underrepresented groups. So what are we talking about there? We're talking about our ELs, our special ed. We're talking about impoverished youth, students who have been totally disconnected, students of color. So it kind of rounds out to really doing that outreach and making sure that things are equitable. There's a very big push for that. In fact, I think one of the second to last pages is really about equity focused lens and making sure that we are offering opportunities for all of our students across the board, K through 12. Particularly at our secondary when the rubber meets the road, it becomes very important before students go out and get jobs and hopefully become gainfully employed or are applying to colleges and such. The very last page, just to translate that, because a lot of this is education-lease, and I apologize, Carrie, up front. Basically what they're saying is, okay, we told you we're going to get the money. That's when we thought it was 6.1 in March. And then in May 17th, it actually ended up being the 18th, but it doesn't matter. I sent in the assurances. I agreed that we would, as a district, do all of these things. So that's all that means. And then May 24th, they want us to kind of start to pull this together, and the funding will be available, at least 2/3 of it at that point. But the caveat is you have to have a plan for these funds. So it's kind of bizarre. They'll be available, but you won't be able to draw them down. So it's kind of strange.
And you have to submit the plan, right?
Correct.
And they have to approve it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the plan is actually due June 23rd. So there's a variety of different things. All of these different elements have to be in this plan. We have to look at stakeholder comments. We'll be sending out surveys, but we're waiting for the state to kind of give us guidance because we have our normal survey that we send out, but we're waiting for guidance on what the feds and the state would like us to do within that survey so that we can get input. And we put those pieces together. And that also happens to be a reopening plan. So it's a combination of doing this right. And we have so much time.
Yeah.
And we don't have a template yet. So there's just a lot of things going on. So it's a multi-layered system. Yes, we will give you the money. The money will be available. It's kind of like your report, right? So we have to do a reopening plan, and that reopening plan has to be approved and the application has to be approved. So there's a lot of moving parts between now and June 23rd. So it's a little crazy, and a lot of the information is forthcoming.
Right now, besides that 20% of mandated learning loss program,
Yes,
is anything else mandated by percentage or allotment of funds out of that grant?
it's not.
And capital, you can use it for capital
You
also?
can use some
Okay.
of those funds for capital, remembering that we're also going to, and it's not that I don't want to use it for capital. I just want to remind people that learning loss, after school,
No, I
staffing,
know,
all those
I know.
other pieces
I'm
will
just-
be huge. But yes, rest assured, we can do that as well. And so I think that the balance there will definitely be possible. So hopefully that makes people feel better as well.
Can we have until the
Because I see the state at a minimum has to obligate 7% of the funds to itself for learning loss, 5% and so on. Have they said, like, are they going to structure that as a grant program, the funds that the State Department withholds for itself? What are they going to do with that? Or is it just kind of gone?
That's forthcoming.
Okay.
They have said that that's happening, but we don't know what they're
I
doing
mean,
with their
I would
funds.
assume they're going to do something with grants for it, but okay. Until
That,
we know, I
but
guess.
that will, yes, so we will get more information on that, and we hope that's what they will do with it. But we just don't know. That's not clear
That's
yet.
their indirect cost.
Well, remember the
Yeah.
state of Connecticut operates its own high school system too. I mean,
Sure.
some of the money is going to have to go for that, but okay.
Right,
Let us
so-
know, but you know.
Yes, I will, I
What's their
promise.
fee for managing the grant?
Yeah.
Okay,
There you go. Indirect cost.
Go ahead, Nikki.
I was just gonna say, we have until the 2024 to use the funds.
Yeah, so this is just
As of right
a
now.
little bit different, right, as of right now, until we get something different. But yes, so what has to happen is the money has to be obligated, but then it's almost like you can encumber it.
Okay, still
And
use it for that year.
Because it's really supposed to be, originally they told us 2 years
Yeah.
and 2 years only, but now they're saying, you know what, you can use it in that next year, that 23, 24, as long as you've said where you're going to use it.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it does. It gives us
Yeah,
that
it gives
extra
you
year.
time, yeah.
Thank God.
Right,
That was tight before. It's tight now, but it's.
Yeah. exactly. Gives you a little bit of breathing.
Just some of the chatter they had on that building safe and healthy schools was wrapped around that district should not be looking as this is a way to do like major capital things
Yeah.
that you're probably gonna have to prove that it's making the school safer or healthier, like ventilation systems, leaks, things that could impact students.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not putting an
Lots
addition
for
on
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yes, it should be connected.
Right. Windows,
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff.
Correct.
They mean safe
Probably a no.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
No, windows they may allow.
May allow, you
Yes.
can prove that
Yes.
because
they're.
it's a health
A
and
health
safety,
You gotta
yeah.
get the windows to open.
That's probably what you
Oh,
have to
God,
do.
let's not go down that road.
I just don't want people thinking we can wipe all the capital
No.
out.
Right.
I think they're gonna be really
Exactly.
picky about what they're gonna allow.
Yes, they
Yeah.
will.
Right.
Gonna be narrow.
Any other questions, comments on that? More to come, right?
Yes, absolutely.
COVID-19 update.
Okay, this is the last report. We used all of our, remember, we were only allowed to have funds from March of 2020 to December of 2020. So we've used all that funds. So we've used $615,858.65. Finished.
So this is our last time to
Last
talk
hurrah,
about it.
yep.
Let's hope.
Yes, that's true. All right,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excess costs?
right, this I give you every year, just look at the bottom, 2021, because it changes.
Yes.
February, if you look at it, was 83.54 reimbursement at 2,014,000. In May, our final is 80.31%. And the city's gonna get 1,880,575, and they budget 1,868,033. So they're gonna get an additional $12,000.
All right. So that's the final number, the percentage?
Correct, that's it.
That's it, right? May 15th, right, is the final?
Excuse me?
Is it May 1st, the final?
Yeah.
Comes through?
I got it.
Can we request that just procedurally? I think we should continue to request that money that we've expended, even if it's not a large amount, but other years it is a large amount.
What do you mean? Which funds are you?
We don't
after?
automatically get this excess cost back
Oh, I know,
unless
the whole
we
thing. Yeah, yeah,
formally
yeah.
request
Yeah.
it.
We did it last year, we requested it.
Yeah, no,
They
we
don't.
should always request it. Yeah. Well, kind of looked at the same thing.
Well, some cities are getting it, but
We'll see. Yeah, we'll request it. See what happens. Okay. All right, any other questions on excess cost? 21-22 budget update, anything new, different, any word from City Hall or anything? No, okay. Any
No,
questions?
I think they're
on-
gonna, June 15th, I think is. the
Yeah, they
date around
extended,
there.
so
They
we're
extended
just
it, so
waiting.
they're
Yep.
just waiting. All right, any questions, comments on that? So, all right, so Nikki, I hope we answered some of your questions before about money,
Yeah.
extra money, so we'll see what we got. And then we can maybe a little here, a little there, and we can get our 4 years, right?
Dance around, yep.
All right. All right, topics for future meetings. Monthly financials. The ARA grant update. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What about the ESSER 2 funding? Because at that point, you're starting to fill,
Yeah, but
fill those positions. How does that work?
yeah, so remember, that's already been
Yeah.
submitted, that had to be submitted, so what we were putting is still what we're putting. If we can't get those positions filled, then we'll have to do a budget mod
Yeah.
to the state, and then we'll
Okay.
bring that back and say, guess what, this didn't work, or we didn't get
Yeah.
these filled, or
Yeah.
we've got to tweak this, and then we'll let you know what the update of that part is.
Could we get that update, I guess, in the full board meeting? Like, I'm
Yeah.
just curious because
I
there's
think-
so
I
many
think
open
we-
positions.
I think we said that we're gonna do that
Okay.
when you do the Alliance updates. So
Sure.
Alliance and ESSER updates, rather than having to go every budget meeting, because it might not be every budget meeting, it might be, it might be every 2 months, I don't know, things might just remain the same for
Right,
3
and,
months down the road, and
Right.
there's
Yes.
nothing to report out, right?
yep,
I think the full board getting that update would be better than just the subcommittee at this point.
sure, yes, because I think that's
There's no
exactly
changes,
what's
there's
gonna
no
happen, right?
modifications, we're just.
Yep, so we can add it to that agenda if there's anything.
We know COVID-19, excess cost update, we can see what the city says about getting the money back. Or keeping it, yes, better, and then, final, 21-22 budget. And, also our final closeout of this year's budget. Talk about that.
Would we move, I don't know when, I forget when this next meeting is, but I would imagine it's like, would we move
I was
it
looking at
after
it.
the 6:15 date?
That,
Well, the budget is the full board's now, so
Yes.
the
Okay, so when
budget
it-
will come
Yeah.
back to the full board. We'll have a special meeting
Okay.
once they tell us what our numbers are.
Okay, so we don't
So-
do that work here.
right now, it's June 9th. for our next budget meeting, so. Okay, anything else, Ed? Nothing else, right? Okay, all right. Comments for the good of the order?
Good meetings tonight. I'm very efficient in our time.
Right.
Oh, good.
Ms. Harold?
Good, thank you.
Mr. Lafreniere?
Magic number is 22.
Mrs. Ferguson?
No, nothing. Thank you.
Ms. Schulte?
No, nothing. Thank you. Very efficient meeting.
Laura Kay?
All set.
Also,
How's that?
Two things, great to be here without a mask, and
Yes.
anyone who hasn't watched that city council meeting that Fiona sent the link to should
Watch it.
watch it, and watch it to the end, it gets better.
Check it out.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
And, all right, thank you, everybody. Keep up the good work. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Oh,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.